And the winner is Benicio del Pelo for Traffic.
Thanks. Thanks. This is truly a super special honor. I am a man of few words and many S's. I am proud of my part in the film Traffic. Aside from trying to get my hair to lay flat, this was the most challenging acting assignment of my life. Because we shot the film in the US and Mexico, not only did I have to act in both English and Spanish, I also had the daily challenge of trying to find parking in Tijuana. I accept this award on behalf of Traffic, a breakthrough film finally portraying both sides of this insidious drug war. The statistics are staggering. $20 billion. That is how much money this movie has made. The drug lords, they make way more money than that. It is, in fact, an Academy Award-winning mess, amigos. Some people blame Colombia for creating the cocaine. Some blame Mexico for transporting the cocaine. Personally, I blame Hollywood parties for hoarding all the cocaine. One thing is certain. America's drug problem causes misery across North, Central, and South America and is a complicated dilemma which I could not possibly solve, but which CRIS FRANCO will address on the next Café California. Thank you. I must run. I thank you. My hair thanks you. Gracias. Gracias. I'm Benicio del Pelo. Thank you. While you're at it, Benicio, get some sleep. What's that under your eyes? Paper, plastic bags? I think it's Gucci. Hola, ¿qué tal? I'm Cristobal Franco. I'm your 100% with no additives host. Y soy muy franco. Today, we're going to be taking a look at drugs, and since no one here has any drugs, we're going to be mostly talking about drugs. And to help us to do so, we've assembled this fine panel. Let's meet them. First, we have Luis J. Rodriguez. He's an award-winning author of this bestseller called Always Running, La Vida Loca, Gangs, Days in L.A. Orale. I added the orale, but I think you should put it on there. Mr. Rodriguez has been drug and alcohol-free for 8 years, and his life's work with troubled youth will be profiled on Life Force on the Discovery Health Channel. And today he's with us on the Let's Talk About Drugs channel. Welcome, Luis J. Rodriguez.
My pleasure. Thank
you for being here. We also have Steven Bauer, currently the star of Traffic. Mr. Bauer fled Castro's Cuba at age 3, moved to Miami, and first endeared himself to Latino audiences as the young star of Que Pasa, USA. Great show. His impressive list of films include Thief of Hearts, Running Scared, Raising Cain, Primal Fear, and his own life story would make quite a movie as well. Please welcome Steven Bauer. I love you in Scarface. That was great. Remember Al Pacino? She's so polluted. She's so polluted.
Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to Steven Bauer. Thank you. We got Javier Flores. He is the executive director of Pueblo y Salud. What is the www number on Pueblo y Salud?
Our address is www.pys.com.
We're going to show that in a second. It's right there. He was raised with 14 brothers and sisters, and he has experienced drug abuse within his own family. Mr. Flores feels our anti-drug funds are being misspent abroad when we should be using them to heal our own communities. Please welcome Javier Flores. Thanks for being here, Javier.
Thank you.
Finally, we've got Judge Ana Maria Luna. She is currently serving at the LA County Superior Court, and you've been involved with Prop 36. Will you please tell us about your involvement?
Yes, my current duties really are to chair a multi-agency task force for Los Angeles County to implement Prop 36, which comes into effect full force July 1st, 2001.
And you've worked with youth as well?
I have worked with youth both as a mentor and have had some responsibility for oversight for teen drug courts.
Thank you so much. I wanted her to say it because I want to make sure I got it just right.
Thank you.
Here's the topic, my friends. Film critics and Latino moviegoers are applauding Traffic for its truthful portrayal of the complicated world of drug smuggling. At the heart of its message is the fact that when it comes to narcotics, it takes two to tango, a fact that the United States has often overlooked. Let's get right into it, guys. Is the United States drug policy working, would you say? Is any aspect of it working? Judge.
You're looking at me, and
I think everyone here thinks it's not.
Well, I would have to say, as I've said in other audiences, that if it was working, myself and about 300 judges in LA County would be out of a job because we wouldn't have criminal cases to handle.
That's right.
But I think that there is a modulation of what works and what doesn't work. I believe personally, and as a judicial officer, that we need the enforcement end of it. Law enforcement, the courts interpret the laws, apply the penalties, but I also think there needs to be a partnership between the criminal justice system and community-based treatment.
You guys, is drug addiction a disease? Is that what we're looking at, a whole change? Anybody?
Gosh, I have some theories about it. Having grown up in this country and had sort of a
Having been in Scarface.
My participation in the film, in Scarface, and now in this film, gives me obviously two different perspectives. But my own life has taken me along roads where I have seen the ugliest sides of drug addiction and drug use and trafficking, you know, and. Not that I ever participate in trafficking, but my what I've seen has been that drugs is a disease, or it's an epidemic really of this society, more so than I've seen anywhere else in the world, really.
But I think it's related to having a culture that everything is fast, everything is now, everything is, you know, you want to get away from things. It's escape. There's no meaning in the lives of people and our kids. And I think those are the culture issues that I would like to address. Talking about healing, I think that's what's needed. Absolutely. I mean, I agree that the law enforcement should be part of a whole package, but the package is big. It's families, it's schools, it's communities, Absolutely. It's everybody participating. It's people saying, you know what, if you have meaning in your life, if you have a purpose in your life, if you know where you're going, things like drugs, things like food, you know, food can hurt just like it can heal.
Donuts.
Food, so it's relationships.
You asked the question, is it a disease? And you're talking to a service provider, an alcohol, tobacco, drugs, anti-drug service provider. We've been in existence for 10 years, and of course, our take on it is, yes, it is a disease. And it speaks to the question, you know, in traffic where the drugs are to be, is sitting amongst all his consultants, and he's asking, is there anyone from recovery or anyone from treatment here? Yeah. And there's absolutely no one there. Nobody. It's like the link that's missing. It's like everyone is neglecting the fact that it is a disease, and then we have to, some of the policy has to be directed at that, and it's not.
Do you think that the United States, well, the breakout thing about traffic is that it's shot in 2 countries.
Right.
And as I said, it talks about the fact that the U.S.'s involvement. Why do you think America has been so, in such a daze and so unaware of the impact that we are the part of the biggest problem of this? What is it about our culture that?
Because I think it's business. And business is America is about big business. And unfortunately, it's hard to demarcate, but legitimate business starts seeping into illegitimate business.
Absolutely.
And heroin was first created by the Bayer Company. You
Bayer?
know, Bayer, and now it's become something
created
illegitimate.
Heroin?
So I think these are things that we forget, because I think what happens, if you can make money, and if you can't do it legitimately, you'll make it illegitimately. It's an economic issue, it's social issues. Again, I want to get back to some of these things, because I think it addresses why we need judges like Judge Luna, but at the same time that other things are happening in the front end, because the back end is one issue, but what's happening in the front end? And I would say that we have to recognize that there is a big industry, a multi-billion industry that drugs is related to, and people benefit.
Can you possibly ever factor that into a case? You can't even go there, can you?
Can't even consider it. I mean, by the time they come into the courtroom, a law has been broken, and you have, depending on what the law is, certain discretion to sentence the person. Under Proposition 36, for nonviolent drug offenders, we're required to offer them treatment as an alternative to incarceration. As a matter of fact, they can't even get around to incarcerate anybody till they get up to their 3rd probation violation. So they get quite a few chances.
Our jails are filled with
system.
people who are pushing drugs, right? That's what's mostly there?
Well, unfortunately, they're filled with people who are using them as well, which is, you know, another failure of the policy, I think. It's okay to incarcerate the pushers, but why incarcerate the users, you know?
We'll be
because
back.
they're going to end up using drugs in jail.
We're going to be back with more Cafe California. It's sort of the same thing as with prostitution, you know, where they're